Well, we run this program as DAAD already since 2016, so the projects are already in a second phase now. Actually, we are here at the midterm conference, so we already have a long path behind us, and I think we will see this in every of the 7 projects. We are actually from our perspective as DAAD, we are very extremely satisfied with the outcome so far. Of course, there's still some time to go, and I think the projects are really doing the most out of it to take this opportunity. Because I think the biggest success is that we really see what was the intention to really institutionalize new programs for researchers and students, and this has been already achieved, and that was really part of the first phase, the first 5 years, and now really all programs are running very already for with cohorts. The second cohorts are already engaged, and so there is, on all fields, a big success just to see that things are operational and they work. And from my perspective, especially nice to see is that really all partners use existing structures, institutions, and so the programs which have been adapted are really always implemented in the local context. So they know the higher education institutions in the local context. They know what is needed there. It's what is also on the market, labor market needed in the area. And of course, this is why we gave it the name SDG Graduate School, is of course that the partners focused on and the challenges which the international community has set out in the SDGs, what we would like to see have to be overcome. The challenges the global community is facing, and I think it's a nice example that people from North and South, scholars and students came together really to working on these challenges we as global community are facing. And actually what they did is joint knowledge creation. They really sat down and created some answers or some approaches to the challenges we all face together. I think digitalization, of course, starts with the technical aspects, and of course you see a very different level of technical standard in the north, but also in the south. And of course, what you also see, the access to internet is very different. Also in the global south. I mean, you have some countries and some locations in the global south which have more and easier access to internet than you have sometimes in the north, because it's just open networks and it is functioning quite well. But on the other hand, of course, you have a lot of places where actually the access is extremely limited. You face problems, power cuts, which makes it also very difficult to operate technical equipment in general. And then, of course, it's also the question about the technical equipment. Is this available for the universities, for the higher education institutions? It's really a question of money. And then it's also the question of how much money do you want to allocate to this? And then I think even more important, the context in this context is the equipment the students have available. Because of course, normally they use their private equipment. So that they don't have access to a notebook, they don't have access to a normal computer lab. Sometimes then they have to use just their mobile phone, and you have to cope with these realities, and you have to find solutions which can make a use out of this challenging environment. And actually I was surprised to see that during the pandemic that actually all projects had the challenges ahead and were coping with them quite interesting in some regards, and they had a lot of exchange among each other to exchange best practices, and what they then established very quickly was really a lot of teaching in e-learning teaching and on computer based and Also, like the whole exchange components, they had been designed before. Of course, they had to find other formats, and they're all put into the digital sphere. And this worked quite well, and that was quite interesting to see. And I think this was some positive aspect of the pandemia, that really everyone made the most out of it. And I think this is a big step forward, and it will last, because people saw how effective and scaling up effective you could also use to really set up a program in a wider scale.